This idea that Jesus returned during the lifetime of his disciples was virtually unheard of before the 1600s. The church fathers didn't talk about it. Why would they? No one talked about it in any mainstream form until the 1600s. And in the 1600s, what do you have? The rise of the Protestant Reformation. What is Protestant Reformation? As we all know, is when Martin Luther nailed the 95 Theses to the Wittenberg Church, and it started a movement of Christians going away from the Catholic Church, reading the Bible for themselves, letting the Holy Spirit do what he's supposed to do, which is reveal all truth to you. And they were leaving the Catholic Church in droves. And the Catholic Church didn't like that because they were losing all that sweet, delicious cash. So what happened? Well, a counter-reformation was established by a man named Ignatius Loyola. He started the Society of Jesus, aka the Jesuits. So a couple of the things that the Vatican really hated about the Protestants were their eschatological beliefs. Two of them in particular. Number one was the idea that the Pope is the Antichrist. And it's easy to believe that because he did a lot of the things that the Antichrist is supposed to do. He claims to be God on earth, quasi-worshipped, has all of this control. And secondly, they promoted the idea that Jesus was going to return to overthrow the evil rulers. We have to imagine that the idea of Jesus coming back to overturn the evil rulers would not be very popular with the evil rulers at the time, which again, we're talking the Vatican. So the Jesuit order wanted to stamp that out. Then along comes a Jesuit by the name of Luis de Alcazar. You can easily look him up. You can Google him right now. Luis de Alcazar came up with a novel interpretation, a new interpretation of Matthew 16:28, saying that, hey, Jesus is saying that he is going to return during the lifetime of his disciples. Vatican loved this because it solved both of their problems. First of all, if Jesus returned in the lifetime of his disciples, that means the Antichrist would have to have preceded that, meaning the Pope can't be the Antichrist. And secondly, if Jesus already returned, then that means that there's no point in looking forward to his return because that already happened. That solved the problem. That's where preterism comes from. Preterism was invented by the Jesuits. This is not my theory. This is not my belief. This is accepted by everyone, including the preterists. If you go do that Google search, you're going to see a preterist document come up saying, yeah, Luis de Alcazar came up with it. But just because a Jesuit came up with this idea, it doesn't mean it's harmful to Christians. Yeah, it kind of does. If your enemy comes up with a theory that changes your eschatology, you probably shouldn't believe it. But then along comes this idea of Tataria. They had these amazing buildings. They had incredible technology. And in these buildings, they had healing centers. So essentially what happened, the preterists appropriated Tataria and just slapped the kingdom of Jesus into it. And with confirmation bias, it becomes part of the zeitgeist. And it's one of their proof points until you actually spend 5 minutes thinking about how this could possibly be. And you realize it's utterly ludicrous.